I wake up and I read the newspapers and it's NFL football player controversial. And I'm like, oh Dios mío, what could he have done? I mean, I know that athletes are like politicians nowadays. They kneel for the national anthem. They have strong statements about how the United States should run, about defunding the police. And I was thinking like, well, if that is the standard, like if that is allowed, what could he have possibly done in order to spark the ire of the mainstream media? And apparently, the man went to a Catholic school, the man being a Catholic himself, and had some basic bitch Catholic talking points. Like, it wasn't something that you've never heard before. It was not something that is thinking outside the box. No, he was like pro-life, talked against Biden, let's go Brandon, that type of shit, you know? Normally, it should just be a blip on the radar. I mean, if you're asking someone, say, hey, well, he's a Catholic, he did Catholic things, obviously. But no, apparently the Atlanta City Twitter account doxed him. Like, someone was that unhinged. You need to understand. Someone at that company was so ass mad that they put their job on the line, their ability to put food into their children's mouth. So they're jeopardizing all that, potentially risking getting sued by the football player as well. For what? For being ass mad. Ass mad that Catholic has Catholic basic bitch speech at a Catholic school. Now, you would think that is the end of it. Like surely it can't escalate. But no. Apparently, I guess the Kansas City Chief cheerleader goes viral. What could she have to say about it? Like, what can she possibly have to add to this situation?
And foremost, until a few months ago, we were both employed by the Kansas City Chiefs. I cheered you on for 6 years straight. And with that, I would assume we went to the same PR training. But since all of that obviously left your brain when you went to go give that speech, I thought I'd be a good coworker. Share my notes. Let's get started. These are fake. Biggest takeaway is you now represent a $1 billion organization. You are no longer just Harrison Buckert. You are now Harrison Buckert, who plays for the Kansas City Chiefs. And anything you say or do that doesn't align with that brand, scissoring just like the lesbians you hated in that video, will be grounds for termination. Not entirely sure if that last part is gonna apply to you, but I guess we'll find out.
I gotta say, there's a lot of people who think doing my job is easy. Which, I'm not gonna lie, it's not the most difficult job in the world. It's not like I'm working on an oil rig or in construction or anything. But in order to help you empathize with what I do, I gotta watch these types of videos at least 5 times a day in order to select which one do I present to the public. I gotta actually go through this, and I have to understand that there are real people behind the camera that thought it is a good idea to post something like this in a public space. Now, when I looked at the comment section, I was actually surprised. I did look at the comment section on Twitter, by the way, and also YouTube. I was a little bit taken aback about the negativity that she received, which is quite an accomplishment because usually, if you're a young, attractive, pretty lady, men are going to be inclined to be positive towards you. It's like starting an RPG and everyone is at the friendly reputation already. You know, like you don't have to work much. In fact, you need to work in the opposite in order to get negative comments. And I actually had to think about why this is. And I believe I know the answer. What women hate the most in men is not a man that is weak or a man that is lacking in confidence. Like, that is already at the bottom of the pool, but like there is something underneath that, and that is like a pervert, right? Like a man that's drooling from his mouth, constantly oogling at the cleavage. Women just can't stand that archetype. Like they generally, it's kind of like radioactive to women. Like if you're like that, and a woman sees you like, she will tell her friends, like, stay away from that guy, he's weird. But you know, while the genders are equal under the law, they're not equal from a societal point of view. Like there are certain things that men like, there are certain things that women like, which is fine because we're there to complete each other, And when it comes to men, a woman that's a pervert isn't necessarily a turnoff. Right? Like most men can handle a woman that has a little bit of perversions in her mind. Right? Like if you have this beautiful waifu that's oogling your groin and she's drooling, it's not necessarily off-putting for a man. But what is off-putting is smug and condescending women. Like if you're being smug and condescending, that is like a universally unattractive trait. You can be the most beautiful, gorgeous lady in the world, the most smart, the most educated, but if you are having these two traits, men will view you the same way that women view a man that is absolutely obsessed and perverted. It's literally like that. So I would say that's why the negative comments are starting to show up. Now, the reason that I'm making the video is not to criticize the lady itself. Like, I genuinely do not know who she is. I'm pretty sure that maybe she's a very nice person and she's not just doing rage bait in order to get more traffic to her TikTok channel, and in real life she's completely different. I've no clue. But what I do know is that I believe it's Taylor Swift. I'm not really in tune with pop culture, but I think it's Taylor Swift. Like she got an NFL boyfriend, and because of that, a lot of liberal women are now watching NFL for the first time, and unfortunately, they are bringing most of their liberal values to the NFL. And those values are shocking for me as an Eastern European, because this is the exact expression of those values. So you have this man which is able to break world records. Like he's not just a good NFL player. No. Listen, he is breaking world records. You can make the argument that many of the games that his team has won were due to the fact that he was playing in them. And in order for their team to make money, because I know it's difficult for the liberal mindset to understand, but the NFL team, despite being rich, they don't have a money printer. Like, they're not actually printing money. They're not creating wealth. They're not generating it. The way it works is that if they play good, they get sponsors. And from that money, from the sponsors, they can play the team and they can play the cheerleader as well. So you have the cheerleader, which is getting money from that team and is fighting against her own interests. Like, her own interest is to get the paycheck, but she is making it difficult for the company to obtain that paycheck because she wants the person that is making the company famous to be fired. Not over the fact that he doesn't play well or he doesn't get along with his team member. No. Because in his free time, he is a Catholic and he is saying basic bitch Catholic things. So, in other words, the values that we need to have as a society, if we were to apply this to everyone, is that it doesn't matter how well you perform at your job. It doesn't matter how good you are at the thing you're supposed to be doing. It matters how you conduct yourself in public. So basically, a person that's a paraplegic would be preferred as the NFL player as long as they say the correct things, they have the correct speech, and they sell their soul to the corporation. Because this is another thing, right? Like, you're now part of the company, so the company boss gets to influence what everyone from that company says and behaves. That is authoritarian as fuck, you know? That's like Nazi Germany corporate level. Soviet Union, the corporation. You're not a human being anymore. Like, even when you're outside work, you gotta do what McDonald's tells you to do. Like, that fucking clown is going to decide everything from now on. And this is desirable. Like, this is coveted by some people. They want this. Like they think this is a good society. They want their son that the moment he goes to a company, everything you taught him at home, he forgets. And he's just going to apply the same thing. I don't even know what to say. It's just baffling. But again, take into account that this mentality, when it's applied to NFL, no one gives a fuck because it's NFL. Imagine applying it to airline pilots. Imagine applying it to Boeing. Imagine applying it to things that actually jeopardizes people's life. Where you're saying, I don't care if it's the best doctor in the world. I don't care if it's the best surgeon. I don't care if it's the best pilot. He says naughty things. Like, he went to a Catholic school, said things that I disagree with. We need to fire him and instead get someone else. They almost believe, like, people are replaceable, right? Like, if you have the best football player in the world, like, do you know how rare that is to actually get it in a team? Right? So you have, like, the best person in the world, And you're like, oh, I mean, sure, we can replace him for a paraplegic. They're going to play the same. Like that's why it's called human resources, right? Like there's no more individuality. There's no more like skill level that you can assign to different people. No, everyone is good. Everyone is amazing. Everyone is like a interchangeable cog in a machine. Sounds like fascism, doesn't it? But anyway, right, so, no, the guy isn't going to get fired. Then you realize that this lady, despite the video, she's not part of HR. She's LARPing as if she is HR. There are these individuals that, honest to God, I'm afraid if they ever were capable of obtaining any sort of power. Like, can you imagine just the oppressive regime that people like this would cause? Because you usually, you look at history and you see dictators that did fucked up shit, and you're wondering, it's like, how can a person like that manage to get power? Or how can a person like that have their formative years? Like what experiences did they had when they were young in order to end up like that? And it seems that, like these people are always amongst us. It's just that they should be prevented by all means from getting power. Like if you're basically saying that the moment you have any deviation from the approved corporate thought, the moment you think differently in your spare time, you need to get punished. And by the way, like, take into account that getting the guy fired is the worst that she thinks she would ever be able to do, right? Like get into a job as a HR lady. The worst you can do is to fire the guy, because that is the extent of power that the HR lady has. But now imagine that you would have a person like this as the supreme leader. Well, now you can have imprisonment on the table. Now you can have executions and other things, right? Like, this is how you actually end up with dictators. I look at these people, man, when they get some moderation position on Reddit, when they get a janitorial position and they have a little power on their corner of the internet, they behave like absolute tyrants, which is fine, like, if you want to be a little tyrant in the internet, that's fine. But they also try to PR themselves as compassionate, empathetic. Oh, they're doing it for others. They're not doing it for them. No, they're protecting others. Oh, my goodness gracious. So, and also, finally, she is also advocating against her interests because the left-leaning ideology that she espouses also considers cheerleading to be oppressive. They also consider cheerleading to be exploitative. I mean, they already got rid of the Grand Prix girls. They already got rid of the booth babes. And there are interviews with the booth babes and the Grand Prix girls basically saying how this is ruining them. Like they were making money on the side in order to go to university or pay their student debt or whatever. And it was like a really good gig. Like, they consented to it. The employer consented to it. But then you had the activists that didn't. So they had to shut down the booth babes. Now, she's a cheerleader and she is supporting the same ideology that believes, oh yeah, like cheerleading is exploitative. Does that make any sense? And finally, if you're looking at it from a different point of view, you have a football team. The guy is setting world records. He is paramount for the success of the team. And then you have a cheerleader. Like, he is literally irreplaceable because he is setting world records. Like, there is no one else on planet Earth that is better than him. But she's a cheerleader. I mean, maybe she's good. I don't know, but is she world level cheerleading? Is she the best in the world? Anyway, I'm probably thinking like the patriarchy right now. Let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.